As of Boxing Day, the Scottish Premiership has come to a halt for the next 3 weeks after clubs voted to break for the winter a little earlier due to the new government restrictions on fans attending football games. This now means that the two matches that were supposed to have been played on the 29th and 2nd will now be rescheduled into the new year, and Premiership action will return a week earlier on the 17th of January. However, just because on-the-field action is halted, that doesn't mean action off the field will stop, as we are 4 days out from the January transfer window opening, and I'm expecting it to be a very busy one throughout Scottish football. This now means the return of the SPFL Transfer Roundup that was a very popular series throughout the summer window. Every Monday until the window closes, we are going to take a look at transfer links, transfer rumours, incomings and outgoings all across Scottish football. Before we get into today's video, please do hit that like button, subscribe whilst hitting the notification bell so you never miss a transfer roundup, and without further ado, let's get into it. Celtic had a massive rebuild in the summer, and Ange Postecoglou must receive credit for some of the players he was able to sign. Celtic made wholesale changes, and majority of the players who have arrived have hit the ground running, as Celtic look a lot better than they did last season, just 6 points behind Rangers, and also picked up the first trophy of the campaign, beating Hibernian in the League Cup final 2-1. However, more signings still need to come in, as lately, particularly in December, Celtic have picked up a lot of injuries, mainly down to the lack of squad depth. Postecoglou has been open and honest and claimed that Celtic will be bringing in a few more additions come January. In terms of names, there is 2 players that I'm almost certain will be announced in the opening days of the window, and that is Reo Hatte and Daizen Maeda. These two have been heavily touted to join the club over the last couple of weeks and are both Japanese internationals that play in the J-League. I've went in depth on Reo Hatte in a recent video, so check it out above, and as for Daizen Maeda, he is a 24-year-old striker that plays for Yokohama. Maeda will provide much needed depth up top for Celtic, as in the first half of the season Celtic have heavily relied on Kyogo Furuhashi, who has picked up injuries due to being overplayed. Maeda has scored 23 goals in 36 games so far this season, so has been fairly prolific. Another Japanese player that is heavily linked with Celtic is Yosuke Odegushi. Yosuke is a midfielder that plays for Gamba Osaka and has previously played in Europe before with Leeds United, and also spent a loan spell with Firth in the Bundesliga. That is all I've really got for incomings so far in terms of Celtic, however I am expecting a few more names to come through the door at Parkhead. As for outgoings, at the moment, I believe Celtic are going to try and offload goalkeeper Vasilis Barkas and are open to letting the Greek go out on loan, as he is currently 4th choice goalkeeper. Rangers this window are expecting some incomings also, after Giovanni van Bronckhorst said that he wants to add a few more additions when he took over as manager, added with the fact that Ross Wilson came out and said that he will be backing the Dutchman financially, despite reports saying that he would need to sell in order to buy again. In terms of names, there is no name that is that concrete at the time of recording, however Rangers have been heavily linked with Andreas Skov-Olsen, who plays for Bologna in the Serie A. Olsen is a 20-year-old forward that is from Denmark and is currently out of favour in Italy. Rangers are one of a number of clubs monitoring the player, who is expected to leave in January. Another player that Rangers are reportedly interested in is Spanish midfielder Pablo Torre, who currently plays for Racing Santander. Torre is rated extremely highly in Spain and is only 18 years old. He is an attacking midfielder, and it is reported that Rangers scouts have been out to watch him, which of course doesn't necessarily mean that a deal will be done. But Racing Club are extremely strapped for cash at the moment and are willing to let him go for £4 million. Torre is an attacking midfielder and is predominantly a roaming playmaker, but enjoys making late runs into the box that leaves defences for dead. As for outgoings at Ibrox, there has been a lot of rumours regarding Joe Aribo, Glenn Kamara and Connor Goldson, but at this time, that's all they are. There are no concrete links, but I do expect there to be some interest for Joe Aribo, who has had a fantastic season to date. Nathan Patterson is another player that has been rumoured to depart, as it is reported that Everton are going to make a third bid for him after they had a couple of bids rejected in the summer. This move could happen if Everton meet Rangers' valuation, which is possible considering Everton are one of the wealthiest in the division, added with their previous interest. Whilst Rangers have a lot of stars that could be of interest to other clubs, the champions also have a ton of fringe players that they could look to offload this January, with one of them being Brandon Barker. Barker has struggled for game time since his arrival, and he did go out on loan last season to Oxford United, but since his return he hasn't been able to get back into the first team. Rangers could look to recoup some money next month before his contract expires in the summer. That's us done with the old firm's transfer rumours, but please do stick around whilst we discuss the other teams in the division. Aberdeen so far this season have blown hot and cold under new manager Stephen Glass, and it was said that he was going to use the last few games of the year to assess the squad further. Whilst there are no names as of yet in terms of incomings, it is expected that Matty Longstaff will return to Newcastle United after failing to make a significant impact during his loan spell. Ryan Hedges is also in his final 6 months of his contract and is likely to garner interest from clubs in England. As for Hearts, they have had a really good first half of the season, especially the fact that they only got promoted last season. The Jammed Hearts have already announced their first signing of the window after they announced Nathaniel Atkinson, who will be joining from A-League side Melbourne City. However, Robbie Nielsen said that he wants to add a striker also in January, saying, "Last season in the Championship we did a lot of 4-4-2, getting our good players in 1v1s, but once we were back in the Premiership we looked at getting in players that will suit a 3-4-3 and build the club out from there. It's the job for myself and Joe Savage to get better players at each position. We're bringing in Nathaniel Atkinson and hopefully a striker as well." There was talk over J-League striker Toshiaki Okawaska, but that may have passed them by after he said that he had unfinished business in Japan. As for outgoings, John Suter can sign a pre-contract with the club in January after it looks like he won't sign a new deal at Hearts. At the time of recording, it is expected that Blackburn Rovers will offer him a contract. As for Hibernian, they are another side that have blown hot and cold so far this season, but after the appointment of Sean Maloney, I'm expecting him to bring in a few additions at Easter Road. However, again, at the time of recording I can't find anything concrete to report on, but I do expect stuff to happen throughout the window. As for outgoings, Hibs have rejected a £500,000 bid for Martin Boyle from Saudi Arabian side Al Fazli. And it does look like the Saudi Arabian club won't be able to get to the levels that Hibernian rate Martin Boyle, so I don't expect him to leave this January, well, to Saudi Arabia at least. Last season, St Johnstone had the best campaign in their history after they won the Cup double. However, this season they are having a nightmare as they sit bottom of the table 4 points adrift from 11th place Dundee. Callum Davidson is expected to be given a considerable amount of funds to turn this around and will likely bring in a good few players after selling in the summer. So there you go guys, that is our transfer roundup for Scottish football this week. Who do you want to see your club sign? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. Please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Scottish football content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, peace.